This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Hello, my name is Harry Tumbuatco and welcome to our program. Tonight's topic is going to be not necessarily the internal politics that we have in our country, but politics that can actually affect us, politics of the world. We're going to talk about China. Now, as of late, during the last 2-3 weeks, they came out with a big shebang, so to speak, one road, one belt, wherein they're going to try effectively to try and link in all the different countries in the world, especially the first world countries. What a terrific idea, but what are the pluses, what are the minuses, how should we understand it? These are the issues we're going to talk about. But before we go on and start with the issue at hand, allow me to give you a bit of a commentary, critique of what's going on in our own country. What I find amazing is the human rights group, wherein now they're saying the rights of the rebels terrorists, the Maote group. I don't understand this. It's like government saying, stop smoking, and the police are out stopping everyone smoking on the streets rather than just banning tobacco altogether. And as far as the Maote group is concerned, did you ever wonder how they were able to get into that city? I mean, how many? 100, 200, or even 50? A group as big as that, dressed in some costume like the devil, all in black. Somehow with the guns and the ammunition, they're walking in. Some type of intelligence would have spread around, unless, of course, the people in Marawi are supportive of the very terrorist groups. Because after all, how do terrorists stay in this country if not supported by the locals? Maybe we should begin to purge the locals, to vet them out, to find out who exactly. Not necessarily just the politicians, but the very locals themselves who say, oh, we love martial law. Yes, and yet they're the ones who feed and support the very rebels that kill our military. Now, enough of that. We'll go back to the topic at hand. To help us all understand exactly what's going on, our guest is Professor Gil Santos, who's a journalist. He's a journalist, he's a professor at the Lyceum, but he is also the founder chair of the Futuristics Society. So let's get started on the issue. Gil, exactly, one belt, one road. Exactly how does China wish to promote or to go to be pragmatic about their ways?
Okay. What was announced by China, and you know, in China, they control everything, including media. But this was credible when they explained it. The one belt, one road, one belt.
One road,
means
one belt.
uniting 65 countries composing of the 60% of the world's population. They're mostly the poor countries, and they're going to connect them with railways, a network of railways, including the 10 ASEAN members. Now, what does that mean? It means increase in trade from all these poor countries into China, and vice versa. You know,
which they already have, except for the physical infrastructure, which is the railway.
Yes, and in fact, what they did also was inaugurate last week, early last week, their train run from Beijing to London and back.
Yes, yes.
Now, that proved that they could connect all these trading posts, the old trading posts and the new trading centers, markets in the world, into China, and therefore their take now is more trade, less war,
Yeah.
less shooting, more trade, more progress.
Ironically, we are one of the 10 ASEAN countries
Yeah.
that are into the same link.
Yes.
And
Except,
yet we have our rows, the
yeah,
sea rows.
except we are an archipelago, and we are detached by seas from the rest of the Asian mainland, or the tail end down to Singapore.
Correct.
However, the Chinese wants to do that, and if they really want to do that, they're going into long-term debts because they're going to lend money. Now, the first thing that they mentioned after the conference last week, where President Duterte went, and so did Vladimir Putin of Russia, but the others were not there.
Of course, America, no.
America, no. Japan, no.
No, yeah. Germany, wala.
Three ASEAN members did not send their chief of states. Singapore was not invited. Thailand did not send, and Brunei did not send their head of state. Germany, France, and the UK, they sent their finance minister.
They did. Germany was there, my presence.
But the finance minister.
Okay.
And the US sent a lesser individual.
So is that telling us something politics-wise, that there's not going to necessarily participate, or they are not necessarily gung-ho with the project?
They're not necessarily gung-ho with the project. In fact, Xi Jinping, the president of China, said it merely showed that there is doubt about the credibility of the one road, one belt. And therefore, there is a need for China to prop that. One, putting up another conference before the major summit comes up in 2019. So then they're going to put up the mechanism to organize that summit in 2019. In addition, they're going to lend something like $380 billion more for building more railways and seaports. In addition, they're going to invite more and incur more debts because they have to lend out.
Siyempre, pera kailangan lahat yan.
Yes. Now, what the U.S. and its allies are doubting about is whether or not this is going to affect the yuan. How will this affect the Chinese? Because the Chinese predicted to have a slower economic growth in the next 10 years. ASEAN, the Philippines particularly, is going to be much faster than China, because China is going to deteriorate to 6.3, 6.4, whereas the Philippines and the rest of
It's climbing.
is going to be 7.4. Now, that is something, because China now is going to do something that we expect them to do, import raw materials from the ASEAN countries. Now, what's our suggestion? Don't import raw materials. You must have value added to these materials. Don't just export coconut. Export coconut oil.
Or in milk, or in water.
Or coconut
packaged
sugar.
already.
Packaged, yeah. So that you can have additional income. And that is what?
The critique I've been reading up on the One Belt, One Road is, while China expands to all the other countries, they are also expanding their banks, their financing, their people that will do the work of the infra. They themselves are actually exporting what is to be to their advantage, not necessarily to the points that they will reach.
Well, this is also one strong point, but on the other hand, it could be a weak point. Why? Because China has already cornered the metals, gold, silver, copper, all those that you need. Yeah. But they're spending it for military purposes. So, in short, they have gone big on military expenditure, which is counterproductive. And if you learn from history, the Russians learned that. That is why Gorbachev dissolved the Soviet Union in 1985, starting 1985 and climaxed in 1991 with the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yes.
Now, if China learns from that, fine. It will not go into deep debts. But the one thing that the allies of the U.S. are doubtful about is, will China keep this kind of relationship just on a commercial basis, trading basis, because it can be used as a geopolitical pressure on the part of China.
So the new type of war.
Yes, which is more deadly. You know, if you analyze it further, it's more deadly because when China puts pressure on you because of what you owe here, then it's something else. It's something else. So, my suggestion to all the ASEAN members, especially to our Philippines, you know, we have no other country but this one. Let's love this one. Now, what we should do is get from everybody else, not just don't depend on China.
Of course, of course.
Don't depend on one source
Interestingly enough, even in our politics, it is required within the Constitution not necessarily to ally with one, which is why Duterte has been traveling everywhere. And only those that don't understand it have not read the Constitution. Hindi, sa America lang tayo. Puro ganun lang sila, di ba? Parang ganon.
Because
so what you're saying is, while it sounds magnificent, gargantuan, huge in every single way, aggressive, it has its pitfalls. And again, it is the Trojan horse that might approach and open up and become the new type of warfare.
Precisely. That is why I am saying what our leadership, collective leadership in the Philippines should do, and that goes for the rest of ASEAN, is look at how we can benefit from this. Get the national interest first.
So you're saying, not saying don't trade, stay away. You're not saying that.
No, no.
You're saying
trade.
Learn from it, sakyan mo na lang.
Sakyan
and let
mo,
them spend.
And get what's the best for the country.
Naku, paano yan? Kung marami kang trilyanes, marami kang drilon na sa gobyerno, puro away-away, wala mangyayari niyan eh. You know, a lot of people in the Philippines, well, not a lot, kukunti na lang sila. I think they forgot they lost the elections. You know, did you notice that? Alam mo, this is a democracy, and they say democracy. The rule of the majority have spoken, and yet the Liberal Party, Trillanes et al., think nanalo sila. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trillanes, Drilon et al., the Liberal Party, you lost the elections miserably. I needed to say that.
Okay. Well, they forgot.
They forgot. They forgot.
Why? Because our politics, internal politics, is personal and transactional. Kung kumpadre kita, hindi bale maski siya, ina mo. But yung kumpadre kita, iboboto kita, you know?
Kulang sa bayan eh. Kulang sa pag-iisip sa bayan.
Kulang.
Puro ang pakikisama, ang pagbabayad, pagbalik-bayad, yung mga ganon.
Kaya nga, ang aking adikain, pati ng iyo, at nakita ko sa iyo to, turuan natin yung ating mga kababayan. Maging magmahal, mas mahal ang bayan kesa sa pera.
Okay, Gil, we're gonna have to take a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, the idea I keep stressing week after week is only one objective, critical thought. So we can help you, assist you, understand the complexities of what we read. We call them current events, but in reality, it's life events that keep unfolding. And you need to be part of it, so at least you will know. You'll be able to discuss the issues straightforward. We'll be right back. Stay with us.